Though fantastic to have you back and thank you for joining us. Let me ask you in a very simple term. What has happened? What has gone wrong? And should investors be worried? क्या हो रहा है और क्या होने वाला है?
Nikunj, I think this is looks like a technical sell-off. As we heard, both these NBFC companies come in your channels and clarify that their short-term liquidity situation is in fact very, very good. And when I say short-term, they spanned out a year of, they said for next 1 year, they have enough liquidity in the liquid accounts to match the liabilities which arises over the next 1 year. So, this looks like speculative unwinding, and for a long-term investor, I can clearly say that if you really understand the company and if you have faith in the management, these are brilliant opportunities to buy these companies wherever you know that the management is solid and they will be able to weather this storm and come out stronger from here.
Although all kind of, some would argue, silly and parallels have been drawn that emerging markets are going through a downturn. There is a rout in emerging market currencies and India cannot remain isolated. So should one focus on that also?
So, Nikunj, that is the point which I am saying. That, let's say, and I just want to amply clarify that, even if I mention a company's name, I'm not recommending those shares to be bought or sold. I'm just saying, let's say something like Indiabulls Housing Finance, which enjoys the highest credit rating by CRISIL itself. It's a AAA paper. So for things like that and for stock markets to worry that there will be liquidity issues in these kind of companies is completely unwarranted in my view.
Madhu, the grain of the truth here is that interest rates are hardening and cost of capital is going higher. And historically, financial sector, and especially NBFCs, perhaps may not do all that well when the macro regime is not that favorable.
See, to extent, I agree with you, Nikunj. But you know that if your borrowing cost goes up, your lending cost will also go up. And that goes up for the whole system. It doesn't go for one or two individual companies, right? So if it go up, even it will go, the borrowing cost will even go up for banks. Yesterday we saw even Provident Funds had to increase the interest rate from 7.5% to 8%. So will a 50 basis or 75 basis point increase in interest rate will bring down the system at halt? Certainly not.
Is one better off picking bargains in the financial sector, Indiabulls Housing Finance, Yes Bank, some of these stocks which have fallen down because of technical factors and because of sentiment, or one should right now keep it safe and stick to IT and pharma because the tailwind there is rupee and dollar?
No. So I was the first one who came to your channel and recommended to buy pharma stocks. But at these valuations, I will stick my neck. You very rarely get these kind of companies down 30-35%. And if it is for some fundamental reason, then one can understand that something has gone wrong. But if it is for technical reason, then these are the times you have to stick your neck and put your money.
Madhu, even though if you look at the screen will make investors nervous. I can feel a sense of optimism in your voice.
मैं सालों से बोलते आ रहा हूँ कि या तो न्यूज़ अच्छा होगा या भाव अच्छा होगा. जब न्यूज़ खराब है तो भाव अच्छे होते हैं और जब न्यूज़ अच्छा होता है तो भाव खराब होते हैं.
But so Madhu, that's a great point. I just want to repeat that for the benefit of our viewers. What Mr. Kela is saying, that good news and good prices, they rarely come together. Right now news is bad, so prices are good. So Madhu, the news is not bad and yet stocks have fallen because you frankly think about it.
ये बता रहे ना बहुत, ये सट्टा बाजार है, यहाँ कुछ भी हो सकता है. That is the point. That but if you are on the right side of speculation and if you are a long-term investor, and I repeat that if you don't understand the companies, don't buy individual companies, then invest in money in a mutual fund. But if you do understand companies and if you do understand the fundamentals of the companies, then these are great opportunities.
Madhu, just a broader message. Even I know the answer, what I will get from you, but this is for the benefit of our viewers, both online and offline on digital. Since people look up to you for advice, when they see this kind of a decline in their portfolio, they get nervous about the mutual fund commitment and SIPs. So what is your message?
My message is, Nikunj, you have to go with time-tested people. You have to go with people who have withheld these kind of situations in the past. We have seen these companies, how they came out even in a 2008 crisis, which was far, far deeper than anything which we are talking or seeing today, right? So we have to go with people who have got credibility and the capability to overcome these kind of situations.
In general, your view is that one should be more constructive towards large cap rather than mid cap, and the party in mid and small cap stocks is over, and they could take some more time to revive.
The valuation which you are getting for large cap companies are the valuations you normally buy in mid cap companies. So there is a question I'm going for a mid cap companies if you are getting the same valuation for large cap stocks.
So I don't want to get this one wrong for our viewers. You rarely come on TV, and when you come on TV, you always make a large call. And your big call right now is that one should buy good quality NBFC stocks in this fall because suddenly they are available cheap.
Unfortunately, you caught me half an hour late, Nikunj. Most of these companies are up 25% from the bottom.
So, Madhu, the other issue which some of our viewers always tell us that, Madhu Kela has now become a private investor. He's not managing mutual funds and all. So, how can we bet on Madhu Kela's intelligence and his enterprise?
You have to get me more often on your channel.
Well, I look forward to that, but the zing and the smile in your voice, I guess, is self-explanatory, and it's a message for our viewers that Madhu is of the view that do not panic and buy the fall, right, Madhu?
Yes, absolutely. But be selective, buy companies which you know and understand.
What could go wrong, Madhu? What could go wrong from here which could add volatility and which could inject 15-20% downside?
See, any systemic global risk or real big spike in oil prices even from here, that is something which will be universal. Again, it will not be selective to one or two companies, but that risk remains. But do I see anything of that kind in the horizon? I don't see. And for a change, Mr. Trump is also with us to bring down the oil prices.
So you're not worried about rupee at 72 and crude at 80. You think markets are discounting that?
I think markets are more than discounting that, Nikunj. And I again remember, this currency, when in 2014 rupee was 70 rupees, in 2017 it became 63, and from 63 we have come to 72. So when you look at from 63, it looks like 12% depreciation. But if I look at from 2014 level, we are up 3%, 4%.
Madhu, I'm using my liberty to ask you a couple of more questions. Promise not more than 2 questions. Historically, when markets have been volatile, consumers, they outperform. But do you think right now consumers run the risk of underperforming? Because in this market volatility, the first sector to decline actually was consumer. Britannia is down, HUL has been volatile, Marico is down. Do you think consumers will start underperforming now?
I think so, Nikunj. I would say that wherever you have very, very steep valuations and wherever you have extremely concentrated institutional holding on these steep valuations, those are stocks I would definitely avoid.
Can I take the liberty of asking you that what exactly you're buying or selling right now? Any theme, any ideas?
Nikunj, I don't have a problem in telling, but the problem is in this kind of volatility, what I buy and sell changes. That if I tell you that I'm buying this and I end up selling it 1 week later, that will not be in line with my character and personality. So I would avoid naming individual companies.
Anything apart from NBFCs which you think is now nearing a level where markets are not appreciating or recognizing the potential of earnings recovery?
I think, Nikunj, one big theme is that, I like the pharmaceutical sector, specifically the API players, because there is a structural change which is happening. The cost of intermediates and the bulk drug is going up dramatically in China, and it has gone up a lot in the last 6 months. So I think that is one theme in a sector which should continue to do well over the next few years. So again, if you know the companies, you can monitor them. These are good. This is a good sector, and select companies are available quite reasonably well, keeping their long-term fundamentals in mind.
What is your view on the Nifty, Madhu? Where do you think the Nifty is headed for next 6 months?
Nikunj, I leave that question to you.
All right, Madhu. Thank you very much.
Thank
You've
you
been
so much.
very kind in accommodating this interview.